Are you happy? You busy? Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing really well and welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome back to another artist vlog. So today is actually pancake day. So I've not made any pancakes yet, my friend's coming round later and I'm going to make some pancakes tonight. But I've been packaging up a little bit this morning. Someone ordered a calendar, even though we're in March, because they liked the flamingo on the front. And I've got 3 prints to package up and a commission to package up. So you might have seen me start that French Bulldog A4 portrait in my previous vlog. I finished that last night. So yeah, it's a bit of a packaging up morning. I think I've already got the prints in stock, which means that I won't need to print anymore on my printer, but I'm gonna have a look and just check first. I'm sure you can hear the cat in the background. She literally does this every morning and cries like a baby. And it's so annoying. Especially when I'm filming, because even with the door shut and even if she's like 2 floors down, you can still hear her. I've packaged up the calendar last night. So this is the commission that I finished last night. This is A4 Louis, little French Bulldog. I really like drawing French Bulldogs. They're so wrinkly and like there's so much detail. In terms of the prints, I'm just going to see which ones I need to package up. So all 3 prints are bought by the same person through Etsy, and it's a hedgehog, a pheasant and the harvest mice, which I think is somewhere in here that I brought from home already in stock. So I'm just going to check and make sure. If you stop meowing now, you've stopped meowing. So I've got both sizes of the pheasant print in stock, and it's actually the small one that they've bought, which is already packaged up, so that saves me a job. Here's the harvest mice print, which is A4 size, and this is the little 6x6 hedgehog print. So last month on Patreon we drew this peacock butterfly, which was made up of 5 parts, and I wasn't sure whether or not to add a background, so I've been kind of playing around with different compositions, different backgrounds. I wanted to add either like a stem or part of a flower, but it was more just getting the colours right so they kind of complement the wing and it doesn't kind of take away the detail and the vibrancy from the butterfly. So if I do add a background, I think I'm going to keep it super subtle. Maybe use some of my pan pastels that are quite like soft and blended. So I've actually just been playing around with a few different backgrounds on Procreate, and I don't know, there's a few that I quite like for different reasons. But I've saved my top 3, which is this one, and this one. I really like the stem here and how these colours really complement the wing. Obviously I won't be drawing this part of another butterfly. I really like the softness of some of these flowers as they're literally blending out and disappearing into the paper because they're that soft. And I think the yellow actually really complements the wing. And I also really like this one, as well as the subtle blue background, which I think matches these little pale blue parts of the wing as well, along with these yellow parts of the flower. And I think because the petals are white, it's not taking the attention away at all in terms of colour or detail from the actual butterfly. So I quite like that. So in terms of those 3, what I've done is just put them on Patreon so my patrons can vote for which one they'd prefer to draw. So whilst I wait for my patrons to decide which background they want for this butterfly tutorial, just to finish it off, I'm going to start printing my next commissions for this month. I know I said I was cutting down on commissions this year, which I am, but I've got 5 to do this month. They're all quite small scale though. I'm also going to print the reference photo that I'm going to use for this year's entry into the David Shepherd Wildlife Artist of the Year competition. This is going to be now the 6th year that I've applied to this competition, and fingers crossed again for this year that I actually get somewhere. I feel like as a wildlife artist, entering this competition takes up so much time, especially if you're working quite large scale and especially if you're working with colour pencils, because they're such a time consuming medium. And every year I say, oh, I'll give myself more time this year, I'll pre-plan it, I'll get prepared, and then before you know it, I've literally got 3 weeks to create a masterpiece, which I don't know if that is going to happen, but I will give it my best shot. Over the past few months though, I have been constantly on the lookout for reference photos. I think whenever you're starting a big original wildlife piece, you want that image to kind of really stand out to you. I feel like I was constantly looking through reference photos and there was nothing really that stood out to me. I really liked a reference photo of a baboon, but it was quite just like a portrait of a baboon. There was not really much going on, and I feel like with this competition, you need to have a little bit of context behind it and a bit more going on within the image. So I reached out to the amazing photographer Cam Whitnell, who has kindly given me permission to use his amazing photo of 4 lions that are all kind of huddling together, and I really like that reference photo. There was 2 that I liked and I was thinking, should I combine them together, make something a bit different? But I think as an actual image it works really well as it by itself. So I'm going to print that, and I think I am going to do it quite large scale, and I think I'm going to work on drafting film. I ordered some more the other day that arrived, so I've got a huge sheet of drafting film ready for this entry. So because that's going to take up quite a lot of my time this month, with Patreon, I didn't really want to start a brand new in-depth tutorial from start to finish split into parts, which is what I usually do every single month. I've still got my rhino to finish off, and I've got the background of this butterfly to finish off as well. And one thing about Patreon is it really catches up on you fast. Unless you're planning everything and you're constantly filming, editing and constantly on it with the content, it really does catch up with you. So my plan this month is to finish that butterfly, do my David Shepherd entry, do those 5 commissions, finish my rhino tutorial that I've still got about half left to do that I started in January. And this month on Patreon, instead of doing a brand new tutorial, I've shared this tutorial of 3 deer, which is actually what I did for my workshop, my in-person workshop back in October at Stanley House. And I've not shared it on Patreon, I've not shared it as a tutorial to keep. So I thought I'd share this exclusively on Patreon, as it's a tutorial that I've already done, and I've actually made this available to everyone on my Patreon this month. Firstly, as a bit of an appreciation for everyone supporting me on Patreon, and secondly, because it kind of caters to beginners and advanced. It uses advanced techniques, but I really kind of break it down in this one. Whereas some of my other tutorials are like way more in depth. But yeah, time to start printing. I'm still waiting for 2 people to get back to me, so I've got 3 commissions to be getting on with for now. 2 are for the same person, and we've got this little one as well. This is such a strange angle, but I'm going to start cutting my paper for my commissions. I always work on the extra white hot pressed Fabriano Artistico paper, and I always get questions as to which side I work on. In one corner you'll always have an embossed like Fabriano Artistico little bit in the corner. It's the reverse side that I actually work on. The grain to the paper is a bit more like one way, whereas the other side seems to be a little bit more textured. So yeah, it's this slightly smoother side that I work on. Perfect. Give us a flip. Oh, that was better. Oh, there you go. Ready? Hey. Not bad. Not bad. So I'm in Manchester today in a little coffee shop, and my plan is to sort out my Patreon because it's literally so unorganised. I started to put some of these as tutorials to keep, so like collections of some of my tutorials. So if I go into here, it's basically a folder that has all the parts of each tutorial with all the materials lists, line drawing and reference photo for each part. So that's organised, but I just need to go through them all, update all the pictures and make them all a tutorial that people can buy as a one-off, which is a very long task, but once it's done then. So I'm back from Manchester now, and I managed to sort out all of my collections in Patreon, so everything's looking a lot more organised. It just looks a lot better, so people can now buy any of these tutorials as a one-off, and say if I click on one of them just to show you as an example, it gives you a brief overview of what they'll be learning within that tutorial, and then it's got all the parts included, and within each part is the line drawing, the reference photo and the materials list. So that took me forever, but it's done now. I also, whilst I was at it, updated my membership tiers because I've not done that for years. Since starting on Patreon, I've always had practice, progression and perfection as my three main tiers. But I've actually introduced a new tier which is already full. I only opened it to 6 or 7 members, which I might add more to as the months go by. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't overwhelmed with like the workload. But this is basically going to be a live Q&A video each month where people can ask me videos like in real time on a live, and patrons will be able to submit their work for feedback and like really in-depth critique, which I used to do on the perfection tier, but because quite a few people have joined that now, it's a bit kind of overwhelming to kind of give every single person that feedback. So just to make it more valuable and to give people really in-depth feedback, I thought I would create a new tier. What have you got there?
Chicken skewer. I know.
I feel like I've not updated the vlog for ages, but I thought I'd just show you where I'm up to with the Rhino tutorial. So I've obviously got a lot more done since I filmed for the vlog the last time. Managed to get all the left-hand side done. I've just finished this body part, which actually took me a lot longer than I thought. I'm just now about to film this next part, which is the back leg. And then I've literally just got the back leg and these 2 legs to draw, along with the grassy part along the background. I'm not entirely sure whether to fill in more of the background or whether to leave it white. I'm kind of tempted to keep it just with the page showing because I quite like how dark the Rhino is in comparison with the white paper, and just have a bit of a background at the bottom. That's what I'm thinking anyway, but we'll see when I get the legs done. This is what the background looks like on the reference photo. So it's basically just a heap of grass and a bit of a dirt track, but I quite like how we've got these other greeny bits that are out of focus, so I'm not sure whether to include that or not, but we'll see. I've just framed this hair that we drew for my workshop a few weeks ago, and it's already sold, so I'm going to send this off to the US. And yeah, I actually really like it with this like wider frame. I don't usually do that. I usually have like a mount that's the same sort of width as the frame, but I think it looks quite good having a smaller drawing in the middle and a slightly wider frame. buffalo beans. She's led so funny. And then we've got the other one over here watching the sunset. Oh my god! So it's 7:30 at night and I've just finished the Rhino. And I've added in all of this grass at the bottom, which actually took me longer than expected. I feel like with grass, it's always like so ugly until you start to add in all these overlapping blades of grass and pull out those highlights. But I'm pretty happy with how it's turned out. I'm still considering adding a bit of a background sort of around the legs, but I'm not entirely sure. I want to enter this into the David Shepherd Wildlife Artist of the Year competition, and the deadline is in a day, so I'm not sure if I'm going to have time. Although, because the background in the reference photo, if I just show you, it's quite out of focus, so I feel like I could achieve that with some pan pastels and a little bit of detail with colour pencils, nothing too crazy. Obviously, the whole piece is so detailed that I don't want to kind of take anything away from that. So I think I'm going to leave it for tonight and then look at it in the morning with fresh eyes and see what I think. But yeah, for now I'm going to say that that is finally finished. I've literally got pencil dust everywhere, pencils all over the floor. But we're done. It's also currently a Tuesday night and my podcast episodes go out on Wednesday. However, because I've been wanting to get this finished and filmed and everything like that in time for the deadline of the competition, I've left my podcasting very last minute. So I'm probably going to have something to eat, just like wake up a little bit and then film my next 2 episodes. I've written some notes. I just want to expand on some points a little bit and then get into filming. I'm going to edit both the episodes tomorrow. I feel like I never want to spread myself too thin with everything that I'm doing, and I feel like because I've been focusing so much of my time on this sort of over the past few days, everything else has kind of taken a back seat and I just need a day to kind of catch up with everything like that, really. So tomorrow I'm going to have a big editing day because I've literally got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts of this Rhino tutorial to edit, which I've just blasted out in the past few days. And then I'll have my 2 podcast episodes to edit. And then I think I'm going to go into Manchester on Thursday and just have a bit of an admin day catching up with stuff like that. And also I'm going to plan a little bit more of my live online workshop, which is another thing that I've been planning over the past few weeks. I announced that I'm going to do something like this on my Instagram story last week and just started getting people's names and emails that might be interested in something like that. And I think I'm going to be teaching how to draw a red panda. I gave people a selection of 4 different reference photos and the one with the most popular vote was the red panda. So that's what I'm going to go with. But as of yet, I've got no idea how I'm actually going to do this live workshop, like technical wise. So I really need to figure that out on Thursday. I'm hoping it'll be pretty straightforward, but it never is with me, but we'll see. But yeah, that's the update. So I'm actually just on my way to meet Shannon Mullen, another wildlife and pet portrait artist who you probably already know on YouTube. I've met up with her a few times now and we're just going to go for a pizza and have a catch up. I don't think I've actually seen her since before Christmas when we did the pottery painting, which I think I filmed in one of my previous vlogs. So it'll be nice to catch up with her today. I also thought I'd mention my next upcoming art workshop. This is going to be very different to the ones that I've done in the past. This one I'm actually doing at Trentham Monkey Forest in Stoke-on-Trent. So Trentham Monkey Forest is a 60-acre woodland of which 140 free-roaming Barbary macaques call home. They literally walk around on the paths whilst you're walking through the park. I actually went to visit last year and it's so different to anything that I've been to before. It's the largest primate enclosure in the UK and it focuses solely on the conservation of Barbary macaques. So if you go and visit, you're contributing to the conservation and protection of Barbary macaques. So you can literally walk amongst the monkeys, they'll walk in front of you in the path, walk next to you, just kind of getting on with their own business, but it's an opportunity for you to see them really up close. So my workshop isn't exactly going to be in with the monkeys, but it's going to be at the teepee, which is just before you go in the entrance of where you can walk with the monkeys. My workshop is going to be on Saturday the 24th of May from 1 o'clock till 3 o'clock, and we're going to be drawing a Barbary macaque, obviously. So for more details and to get your tickets, go and check that out on my website, and I hope to see you there. Look who I'm with. Isn't it nice? Today is Sunday and we've come to Trentham Park for a walk because it's actually really nice weather. We've been to Dunham Massey before, haven't we? And we saw loads of deer, but this is very much 10 times the size. You've not been here before?
No, my first ever time.
So yeah, we're gonna go for a walk. We've got some snacks and I've got my hoodie, but I don't actually know how warm it is.
The weather is getting cloudy.
I've got my
now.
scarf.
Quite warm now.
Very much. Hello. Cute.
That one's cute.
This one's a little baby one.
No, it's just chilling. Doing a dance.
Yeah. So I think the last time that I filmed was in Trentham Park, which me and Conrad went to yesterday to go for a walk. We saw loads of deer. It's not actually that far from Manchester. It's only sort of 25 minutes out. I got some really good pictures of the deer actually because we got quite close, but they were huge. I think they were like, I don't know, they were like reindeer. They were massive. Then we came back and we actually went for a Thai meal with Conrad's mum and dad. Came back home, did a bit of work, and then that was that. The day was done. I don't know if anyone else who like vlogs and does YouTube feels like this, but sometimes I'll have like a few days of filming everything, but it takes a lot of effort because whatever you're trying to work on, it takes like twice as long because I'm constantly setting up camera angles and thinking about different shots and having to update you whilst I'm doing it. So I spend like a few days doing that and I think, oh, I'll just get on with it for the next part of the week. And then like 2 weeks go by and I've actually not filmed anything since, or like tiny little bits that don't even make sense. So yeah, sometimes I'm good at vlogging, sometimes I am not good at vlogging, but I'm trying to get back into it today. So a few weeks ago I did my workshop and that went really, really well. I'm glad that I did another one at Stanley House. We drew that hare and the original hare is actually packaged up and framed and ready to go to the US. It's sold. So that was an exciting part of this week. Then the week after, me and my friend went to my friend's wedding do. We actually made a bit of a weekend of it. It was in Knutsford, which again is not too far from Manchester. And the hotel that we stayed in had like a spa. We went for lunch. So it was nice actually just to have like a few days chilled, just completely off from work. And last week I went into Manchester and caught up on like Patreon stuff, admin, editing. And I've actually been planning my next workshop, which I'm thinking is going to be an online live workshop because it's going to reach more people. Whenever I've done an in-person workshop, I always get messages saying like, we should do one closer to here or over here, which I wish I could, but I feel like just to reach more people it would be easier to do one online. So that is what I'm currently planning. I've been choosing a reference photo and I feel like it's the reference photo that makes it really. You want to draw something that's really interesting but not too in-depth because I ideally want to finish it within the time frame. I've also been thinking about when to actually do it within the day because obviously UK time, Australia time, US time is all completely different. So I need to find something that works for sort of everyone. That's a bit of a middle ground. And another thing to update you on, I've almost finished a commission. I feel like I'll show you when it actually is finished because it's going to annoy me all the little bits if I show you now that still need doing. But it is pretty much nearly finished. And that one's actually going to Hong Kong. I don't think I've ever sent a commission to Hong Kong before. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to update you on. On the topic of Patreon, I actually had a bit of an update on that the other day. So on Patreon, you can kind of set up different tiers for people to join, all of which will be aimed at sort of different levels. So my first tier on Patreon is called Practice and it's aimed at like beginners and those who just want to kind of dip the toe into drawing and like practice like the fundamental techniques and a few very simplistic tutorials. And then I have another tier called Progression, which is like the step up from that, which is kind of putting all those techniques into practice and doing a few more tutorials and learning more about the material side of things. And then the tier above that is called Perfection. So that's like perfecting your techniques through in-depth start to finish tutorials, which is all like my full portraits that I do every month. And then I've actually added another tier, which is a step above that, called professional. And I wanted this to be more based around critiques, because I currently do like feedback and guidance on the perfection tier, but I feel like because quite a few people have joined that one now, I'm just finding that the workload is a lot to be giving so many people like really in-depth advice. So I thought I'd create a new tier called professional, which is based more around that. And I'm also going to be doing live Q&A videos whilst I'm drawing on that as well every month. So yeah, definitely needed a bit of an update. I feel like I've just not changed anything since I started Patreon like well over 3 years ago. So an update was needed. So I've only opened this new tier called professional for 6 members. I feel like I might change that to sort of 10 depending on how I feel with the workload, but yeah, I just wanted to be able to give more time to like the critiques and the valuable feedback so I can actually really help people more sort of one-on-one. Obviously, the more people I'm giving feedback to, the less time I'm giving to each person. Also, because it's been so long since I picked up the camera for my artist vlog, I can't even remember if I mentioned anything about the David Shepherd Artist of the Year. I'm sure I did, but the competition entries close sort of in less than 10 days, I think. I'm sure they close on the 27th and today's like the 18th or something. I was going to do quite a big like lion piece of 4 lions, which I still haven't started because I feel like I've been juggling a lot, but I have quite a lot of wildlife pieces that I haven't entered before that I've done like last year that I actually really like. So I was thinking I might just enter some of the ones that I've already done and not put extra pressure on myself to complete something in time for the deadline. Even though I do like a little bit of pressure, I do somehow get the work finished and complete. But I think I might enter something that I've already done, or a couple of pieces that I've already done, and potentially this rhino when it's finished, because I feel like it's the most detailed drawing that I've probably ever done. But yeah, we shall see. But there's the update for now. Haven't seen you for ages. Oh. Reunited with Daisy. Come on. Hello.
What's going on?
Oh. Oh. This is. Whoa.
I never used to do that one.
Oh, it's a new one. Kiss it. It's very aggressive. Come on, Mom. Kiss it. Okay, let's go. So I've just drawn the initial outline of the red panda that I'm going to be doing for my online live workshop. It's only small, 5 by 6 inches, and I'm going to draw this afternoon and try and get it done within 2 hours. And then I know exactly what colours in what order I'm going to be using, so it'll be easier for me to teach the live online workshop, and I'll be able to provide everyone with the materials list beforehand. So I'm just about to do my first live Q&A on the top tier of Patreon. It took me a lot of figuring out how it's all going to work yesterday. So basically the live is through YouTube, but I'm running it through OBS so I can answer everyone's questions whilst I'm working. I'm going to be talking through my microphone. I've got everything set up here ready to go. I'm going to be working on this commission. I hope to get sort of the ear done, maybe both of the ears. I'm going to probably draw for like an hour. So I've just done the live stream and everything technical went well. Saying hello? No, she's not. Everything technical worked, I think, with the new tier on Patreon, the new professional tier that I've got. I'm going to be doing these like monthly Q&A live streaming videos every month anyway. They don't always have to be live streaming. I said, you know, I'm open to other suggestions. We could do like a draw along live, or I don't know, just me sat here answering your questions, not necessarily drawing. There's loads of things that we could do, but I think the live videos are a bit more like personal, and obviously whilst I'm here I can do them because the internet is lightning fast. But yeah, I'm glad that I've managed to figure that out and it all ran smoothly technical wise. That was the main thing. Once I've done the first one, obviously I know how it's all going to work then for the next one and going forward. And I also managed to get a little bit of this ear done whilst I was doing that live stream, so yeah. So I've just finished the red panda, which is going to be the online live workshop tutorial. I'm going to make the online live workshop about 2.5 hours, I think, to make sure that we get all this detail in there. It's actually not that big if I just put it next to my hand. It's about 5 by 6 inches, but obviously I do like to make it look as realistic as possible, and building up all these colours and stuff on the Fabriano paper does take quite a long time, so I've used quite a few colours in this, but at least I know the colours that I'm going to be using, and I can now provide the materials list to everyone who has registered their interest. So yeah, this is what we're going to be doing, and I'm going to decide on a date and a time very soon. So I started this ebook the other day, which I've just finished off now that I've finished the panda. Taken some pictures of it and inserted it into this ebook. So it's basically got the materials list, the reference photo, the line drawing, where people can access the live video. None of these links work yet, by the way, because I've not kind of set it up properly yet. And then I've done some process pictures as well. I've taken some pictures all the way through. And then we've got the finished thing. So the idea is when someone purchases a ticket to my online live workshop where they can learn how to draw this red panda in colour pencils, they'll be able to download this PDF document including the reference photo, line drawing, materials list, progress photos, and the link to the live video. So I'm going to add all the links in now, get everything set up, and then just decide on a time and a date to do it really. That's basically the last step to getting this up and running. Ideally I want to do it next week. But obviously I want to pick a date and a time that suits as many people as possible. So I think I might put an Instagram story on, maybe like a poll where people can vote. This looks incredible. This looks so good. Yeah. Come to a restaurant called Ezra in Gill and unreal.
The camera's way too close to my face. Apologies. Don't eat me. See me eating beans on toast.
Right, you can stop it. I've just been editing this artist vlog back, realised I'd not done an outro, so this is the outro. And also today I have literally spent this afternoon just sorting out the live online workshop. So I did put a Instagram poll on my story, and the most popular day was Wednesday. The most popular time was 6 until 8:30 in the evening. So that is when my live workshop of the red panda is going to go ahead. And I've already had a few people book onto it, which is good. This morning me and Conrad went to Ezra and Gill, which is like a breakfast spot in Manchester. It was so good. Had like avocado on toast, which is usually my go-to. He had a full English, but everything was just presented really nicely. And then we went for a massive walk like all around Manchester and walked all the way back here, which took us probably about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. So my legs are in agony. But yeah, I thought I would just end this artist vlog here. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching if you've made it to the end of this video. Remember to have a look at more details and tickets on my website about my upcoming workshop at Trentham Monkey Forest. I've left the link to that below in the video description, so go and check that out. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and please subscribe to my channel to see more vlogs and tutorials and artist content like this. I hope you all have a lovely rest of the week, and I'll be back very soon with a brand new video.